And we're live one more time. And again. And again. It's Groundhog Day around here. What's up, everyone? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle. That is Buddha, Lightworker, Starseed, Earth Angel, Mystic, Medium, Psychic, Witch, Yogi, Guru, Evangelist, North American Sybil, Messenger of God, the first child of God, reincarnated. I am the Lilith. What's up, what's up? Tonight, we're going to be talking with a special guest here. We have Buddha. The Buddha. It's funny. I'm like, let me introduce the real... No, just kidding. I didn't know who to put down. We're going to be doing a teaching on chakras. And that comes from, you know, it comes from Buddhist or Hindu belief systems. The reason I put Buddha there is because he's in the perfect position as I sit here in my chair and you can't see, and how I even do it in my office chair at work. I sit in that. I don't know what they call that. I call it a perfect star because that's what my kids called it from, you know what I mean, elementary school. They used to tell them to sit in a star. They used to tell you to meditate. You had to sit like that, cross your legs over, and put your hands, you know, put your fingers, yeah, you looked, together like that on your thing. Okay, so I didn't realize that I had done this my whole life, but that's my favorite position to sit in, and I just be doing it in dresses and in all kinds of weird places. I'll sit down on the ground, just like that, everywhere. I've been doing it forever. So anyways, I didn't realize I was always in a meditational pose. And then as far as my fingers, well, yeah, I usually have a joint or a cigarette. A joint or a cigarette. Those are mantras. Really? Yeah, for real. For real? For real. You don't know what you're doing until after you know what it is. So anyways, forget about all that. When you sit like this, and they call it aligning your chakras, is why you have to sit in this particular, it's the perfect meditational pose, right? When you sit in this pose, you align your chakras, which are 7 invisible energetic points throughout your spine. You have to have a perfect alignment for this to happen. What comes through there, it's a color code. It's the 7 colors of the rainbow. What happens through there is once it aligns, you know, all of the colors align and you become a perfect white light. And then once you have that white light, you can align these colors to make white, right? The light, the original white light. In essence, you're tapped back into the original white light, which is the divine. Ta-da! Simplistically put, but it's not. Because there's like 50 shades of gray. Sorry, the stuff that comes out of my mouth. This is going to be a long teaching. I hope you have something to drink. Pull up your favorite snack. Mine is Oreos. Check this out. Dude, came home. They had Oreos and fucking chicken parmesan for dinner. I was like, dude, I love my life. In the essence. So we're going to learn about these invisible energetic points. Traditionally, they say you have 7. Yeah, you have to align those 7 to align with the higher chakra points. Now, once you're aligned with just the 7 that align with you, you become what I am, and that's an antenna to the bullshit, is what I always say. I'm just a translator to the bullshit. Meaning you're an antenna. You're white noise. You're white light. And then you can hear it all. Everything circulates through the light. And it goes to its color, its directed color. So you're just sitting in the, you know, in the bullshit. And so, that's like that perfect unity, is being backed with the light. And my archangels, fire oracles back there, we teach all of the different colors of the rainbow, but it's also the chakras too. And we go through 17 of them. So I'm going to take you through using my Lumerian cards, and that's why I didn't want this to get too messy. These are one of the highest level of lights. I read these on Sundays, right? We're basically there. That's why I can tap into this right now. These crystals that you see lined up here on my altar, those are Lumerian seed clear quartz crystals. They were hidden in the earth, and they have imbued codes in them to help you work through your shadows and connect to higher activities, right? So, throughout the world, God created the universe, and then he created, you know what I mean, the planets. And then he created Earth, right? The final frontier. Shut up. He put the whole universe inside of the Earth, which is in what? In nature. It's in the stones, it's in the water, it's in the trees, it's in the air. The whole universe lies within it, but it's also in the beings, because Adam and Eve, well, not so much Eve, Adam and myself, and her too, Adam and myself were created of the dust of the earth. Genesis 1, ergo Genesis 2, here comes Eve. She was created of his rib, so therefore inherent to his gifts, which I'm still trying to figure out what they were. And opposed to mine, what gifts did you give this guy? And in essence, I'm the serpent that gave them the apple of knowledge and wisdom, and I tried to give them the powers of God. So again, I go back to my statement, what powers of God did you have before I gave them to you? Before I broke the rules and gave them? Or you broke rules by accepting? I don't really know that I broke the rules and there was any punishment to this. I can't feel that there was any wrongdoing in that. I wasn't one of the watchers. How did Lilith get away with it? Because I myself was created as a child of God from the beginning. And what's given to the children of God? Forgiveness. Ha ha! And that's where I teach you to lean on that bitch, bro. And how we work, with that to get through this. It's not all forgiven, but, you have to atone for it and all that. Going back to it. So, this chakra system, this energetic, it's basically your computer system, and you need to just, activate your apps, if you like. Fair enough? Alright, so we're going to talk about them. We're going to start with, like I said, through the Lemurians. The first one we activate, I should just get the other cards. Oh my god, please don't make me do it. Actually, I could do it without the cards and just the guidebook. And I just cleaned Pandora's box. It was so messy, you guys. I had all kinds of religion and everything was just messy. I just fixed it all up. I really wanted to... I got it. I really wanted to do a setup down by the creek, because remember I was thinking about Arizona, dude. How I would just leave there all the time, go just down a couple blocks and just pull up at the park, light my candles, and do it always there. I wanted to do that, but I just didn't want to carry all my shit down and, set up a whole altar down there. But I can, but I just didn't. Anyways, so we're also going to use these as cross-reference. These have a whole suit of angels that go with each chakra. This is starting with the Earth Star Chakra, right? Now, in my book, which we had just started, we started with the first one, which is, I teach you, we start with the black galactic core 0 point. Now that aligns with the card I pulled earlier, which is the Fool. And then you meet the dark night of the soul, which I taught to you guys last Saturday. It's under, I don't know, look at the dates. And then I taught you about, through the suits. Now, after you get through the dark night of the soul, you start here. The Earth Star Chakra. They call it the Angels of the Russell Ray. It's a deep brown copper. It is 6 to 8 inches beneath your feet, according to this book. Now let's go into the Lemurians. This is not one that's inside of your body, obviously. There's many of them, and that's what I'm going to teach you is you connect to outside, you connect your system to the system. The earth is, you're already, what's happening is you're awakening. How is this happening? Science says it's a pineal gland, which is a crystal inside of your head. That's what science says, a crystal inside of your head. My teachings, or my understanding through religion and all of it, it's your heart wakes up. And it fights the brain. But it has to align with something in the brain to do this fight, which would be that crystal. Because again, how are you connecting with all of it? Again, how do we connect? Through Earth. The Earth, all of the crystals. They call them moon rocks. You know what I mean? These are minerals that are not of this planet. Gems and stones and minerals that are not of this planet, but that we find buried deep in our planet with no knowing. Sacred places like red rocks, you know what I mean, and Stonehenge. And these particular entities work out of Mount Shasta. They're hidden. It's an energy hidden within, you know what I mean, a civilization. That's it. The blood that lies within the land. All right. Yeah, am I making this scary enough for you? This is the beginning of this book. We're almost at the end of it. We are almost at the end of this journey, meaning every Sunday we pull one of these cards and then we start all over. We're almost at the end of this, and we will restart this in about how many weeks? Looks like in a month we're going to start again with the Earth Star Chakra. But for right now, we're just jumping all into the bullshit. We're all over the place. I told you I was living in the future. I said that like a week ago. I was like, dude, I'm like time traveling so bad right now. All right, initiation, oneness, collective consciousness, anchoring transmissions from a higher realm, sacred earth knowledge, integration of the divine, working with the grid lines. That means you're tapped in, okay? Now, going back to this other one. This one says grounding, connecting to the earth, being in the now moment, clearing karma, security, balance, love for life, and contentment. Now, as we go through these, I started my book on the opposite. Let's talk about the polarity, right? This is the light. The polarity of the dark is we start with the first dark goddess, which is Gaia. You're like, Mother Earth? Yes, she has a dark side. I don't have those books here, and it would be collective. Oh, fine. I'm not pulling out the cards. You and your visuals. Or as Bobby says, your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That will never let you go for that, bro. That will never, ever cease to exist. Like, was that written in the stars that you were going to say that and I was going to hang you for that for the rest of my existence? How could you say that, bro? Anyways, Gaia. What does Gaia teach you? She teaches you letting go, moving forward, stepping out of your comfort zone, sense of duty, trusting the process. Right? Spring, summer, autumn, winter, all trees, but particularly the ash tree. On Earth Day, her day is Earth Day, April 22nd. It's the first goddess you start with when you start this journey. I'm going to keep all these books going. It's like if I had a computer, I could just pull all these tabs up, but I, myself, am the computer system. And all of this isn't, I mean, you could, but this is how God made me, as a mobile station where I could deliver the message. Like this. You know what I mean? They're like, park your car on the property. I don't think that's a good idea. Do you know that I have a globe in my my trunk that I catch fucking demons and ghosts in? I used it a couple months ago in Cheeseman Park. I heard Cheeseman Park was fucking haunted, so I went over there and cleaned it up. There's ghosts in my fucking trunk. It's wrapped up. There's other shit too. I mean, you don't want to. There's a Ouija in my front. You don't want to fuck around. I don't think I should bring this on the property. There's kids here and stuff. Seriously? Yeah, bro. I'm just here. God put me here. For what reason? I don't know, to help you guys and help myself. You need an exorcist? What the fuck am I doing here, God? Oh, you're going to remember how you were just this whole manager bitch. And you were just this rigid bitch. And this is your work behaviors. Oh, thanks, God. Thanks for this nice trip down memory lane. Always. I'm telling you, he puts me places just to remind me who the fuck I was. That's great. Do I want to be that person? No, I mean, you go back to, if we have to go back to something from the past, it's to heal it or to have reverence and respect for ourselves for what we've already been. Right now, I'm feeling really respectful of myself that I am so knowledgeable. And that's where I was all week. I was like, how do I know this? How do I act like this? This is like Jason Bourne. Like, I know how to pull out the gun and I know where to shoot. How is this working? How do I know all these words? How do I know how to fucking remember all this? And I can't remember no part of my life. Years of programming is still in there. What kind of programming? I don't know. We're going to see it. Zeros and ones. We'll work with what we need, and we pull the wires of what we don't need no more. All right, clear. Turn the batteries off on that. That was useless. All right. Are you keeping up? I can't ever when I'm in the light either. It goes at the. I go at the speed of light. You were standing at the gateway. With trust in your heart, ancient remembering in your soul, and inner illumination to light your way. You have access to the seed of creation, the spark of existence, and the codes that hold the blueprint of who and what we are. It's all there. The place is clear and grounded, despite moving through multi-dimensional realms and able to bridge worlds while functioning in the physical reality. The higher you reaches for the divine and the realms of the spirit, the more important it is to anchor deeply to the earth. And that's it. No matter how much I'm trying to stay in the here and now, my spirit is reaching to heaven because it's trying to bring heaven to earth. It doesn't want to be here. The only way that I'm serious, multidimensional, in the sense of I'm always reaching to the sky to bring God into my life, because this life sucks, right? So they caught me. I can totally turn off. I was staring at the stoplight at least 2 blocks away. It's that far away, and I'm focused on watching the light go. And she's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "No, I'm just checked out." Meaning, I'm physically here, but I've left my body to reevaluate what's happening. I'm not consciously in this moment anymore. I've left this moment, and I'm looking at it from a higher perspective and from a priest moment. Really? Oh, yeah. Stay down. Stay grounded. Stay in the here and now. It's not disassociation. If you turn the mind off and you're not realizing where you are, that's disassociation, and that was part of my personality disorder. I wasn't even physically there. I don't have the memories. I don't know what we talked about. I don't know who you are. No, I was there. I was there, but I was outside of the whole thing, and I saw it go down. I wasn't just in the words. I saw how this whole went down, right? I had to step out of my body and let my body take over, and me sit back and watch my body handle this situation. And that's from old training of watching the personalities go. And that's where it is I have to step back and just let myself play it out and see how I play. Then I can go back in, step in, and reprogram the mind. What were you thinking when you did that? And that's what happened. When this client, whatever this person was, when they came up, it was a confrontation. It wasn't. It became that because it was like, I was triggered into, this is your job, handle your job. So I went into job mode, and I allowed the job mode to play out. And then while it was playing out, I was like, no, you're not supposed to do it. So I jumped back in the body, and I'm like, okay, but what am I supposed to do? You're not supposed to do nothing. Wait, what? So then my body is conflicted because it was in mid-action, and I stopped it, but yet my spirit doesn't know why we stopped it. So now I have to sit down and shut down the body and take the spirit out and replay what happened and try to understand it from everybody's perspective. First off, I see it from yours. Oh my gosh, what is she doing? You don't talk to people like that. No, leave him alone. Get him out of here. Why is she acting like that? Okay, I can see it from your perspective. I can see it from his perspective. Oh, dude, what did I say? Oh, dude, she's going to kick me out. Oh, dude. I can see it from his perspective. And then, that's what I'm trying to see is like, I have to see everybody's perspective of what just played out before I can understand what's the next play. So let me tap out and just focus, and that's called scrying, where you stare at an adamant object, and you can, trance work. Well, let me just hold on. And that's, she asked me, what am I doing? I told her I checked out. What that means is I'm taking a moment to evaluate my life's decision and if I can go forward on this job based on what just happened. Was it really the conflict with the person? No, it was the fact that you interrupted the job and said that's not my job, instead of telling me how to do my job better, because I was told this is my job. That's what made me question, is this my job? Am I supposed to be doing this job? What did I do wrong? And it wasn't what did I do wrong. I saw that my voice was elevated and it was a little bit confrontational. I saw that. I said that right away. The tone, it looked a little confrontational. Okay, I acknowledged right away, and that's it. I'm just seeing me play for the first time. This is my first time seeing me play this role. Let me see how it plays, and let's look back at it and how I could have been better. And that's what a training position is, how we can be better. I'm not going to be great at this, but don't tell me not to try, because you don't. Can I get an amen? Amen. What does this have to do with the earth? Stay grounded. All right. Because that's what thing is like you can disassociate for what's happening right now. You can step completely out of it, shut your feelings down, shut your thoughts, go completely numb, and just wait until this moment's done so you can exit the room. I exited the room before I exited it. They could see it on my face. I wasn't there, and I told them, I'm not going to lie to you. I have checked out. I said that exactly. I'm just checked out right now. I'm just reevaluating what happened, meaning I have words for what is the pale look on my face. I'm not here. I'm looking at back. I'm searching through my memory of what just happened. I'm replaying this in my head. And since nobody's in front of me, I have the time to sit here and do this. There's nothing happening right now. I can just sit here and stare into what just happened and replay it over and over until I can figure out, see the whole picture. And that's pretty much what it is. When you make a mistake, you're replaying it. I just go quiet. I'm just seeing it. But in the essence, it's critiquing it. It's not criticizing for me. Any mistake I made, it's not justifiable. It's just a mistake. And I can find out where that came from. I'm kind of a little explosive. I'm very bossy. I'm very assertive. I've known to have these traits. I haven't seen them in a long time. I didn't know, this is my first time being triggered in such a way. Trigger happy. I just, that's it. I'm not going to beat myself up for not being whatever they want me to be. Because I don't even know what I am. But what I'm fully capable of. And so being in the here and now is important. Not completely checking out. But being, still, you know what I mean? And that's it. I could have checked out for the whole day. I could have been just sitting there quiet. Super quiet for the whole day. Because there wasn't anything really to do. After that, it was weird. Awkward. Awkward for hours. Weird. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I can come back to this. We can reevaluate. We can talk about it. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to act quiet. I'm not going to shut down. I just need a minute. And you have to understand those moments. Bring it back. Step out, step in. You really have to step out of a lot of situations and reevaluate it, because they come at you real fast and you're like, did I handle that right? And especially me, I'm in a new environment. I'm trying new things. You got to just don't assume what you're doing is right. But don't be afraid to take, measures that you may not look right. You got to get your hands dirty. And, hopefully somebody will be there to, pick you up after or not kick you down. Restore. Explore clearing meditations, self-energy work, and putting intentions into meaningful parts of your life. Find ways to balance your life. Be aware of times of the day that are more conductive to different states of conscious, such as flow, meditation, and productivity. And that's it. In the morning, everything's flowing through me. I haven't grounded fully. And that's why I had to wake up. I have to start waking up earlier and have that time. I set it up so that I have about 45, 50 minutes that I can just sit in my car before I go to work. Okay? Then I set it up so that when I get to work, now I've gone through that travel, and when I'm traveling, the mind is moving, there's images, there's music, stimulation is bringing still. I'm catching energy all the time. So then I get to work, I make sure that I'm there about 10, 15 minutes early. Really? Yeah, so then I can sit there and get ready for what's next. Right? I don't want to just get thrown into it. I have to have, a lot of preparation. I have to have a lot of grounding to this. I have to be I can't turn off what I am. I just have to clear it out before I get to where I'm going. So I cleared all my stuff out yesterday morning, and then as soon as I get to work, there's my shadow work. I'm like, give me just a minute to clear this out. And it only took me about 5-10 minutes. I was a little foggy. Somebody came in real quick. I didn't, I was like, what's the number to the safe? And where's the keys? And I need to, all this crazy stuff. I just kind of went blank for a minute. Total blank man, because I was in the clearing process. But that's what it is you got to be able to, I move through different worlds. That's what it's like. How do I come back into the real world? It's hard to ground into the real world. That was my biggest struggle. How do I go from this world to that world? Can I hold both worlds inside of, what I mean? And that's what it looked real bad. I couldn't go into the matrix with all this spirit shit. It just came out of my mouth and it just oozed out of me. Can I hold a job without being so, freaky? I'm trying, damn it. The first one they put me in was an overnight job in Walmart. All the weirdos work at Walmart, and they made me work overnight so nobody would work with me. You know what I mean? I was all by myself stalking. Yeah, this is great. Hide her somewhere. So I figured that would work during the day. Put me somewhere cleaning. You know what I mean? I'm a cleaner. That'll work. I was trying to work at the museum at night. I just couldn't. Now look at me. Fucking shit. Alright, next, what happens after this? After the earth, you start tapping into the earth. That's probably what it is. That's what happened to me. I was out cruising through Red Rocks. I'd never been, you know what I mean? Started going out. And then you start tapping into your what? Your root chakra. Now, before I get into that, I want to tell you about the archangels that will be working with you through that phase. You will have archangels working with you, as well as you facing your darkness. You have Adnakel, the way shower, right? He's the adventurer. His name means the shining one. He helps you embrace your individuality and independence to access a pioneering spirit. Okay? He's an Aboriginal warrior from Australia. Next, in there, you're also going to meet Casael. The most biblical studies talk about Casael. She's serenity. She teaches you solitude and temperance. Her name means God is my cover. She reminds us that the importance of taking time out. She also helps us honor our boundaries and say no when we need to. Cassiel's message is that it's okay to put yourself first so you don't become drained. We spoke about that in my earlier video, is the oppression. You have to take time for self, right? So what did I do earlier? I just sat in my car and listened to fucking music and smoked. Stared at a wall. I parked against the wall so people weren't even around me. Really? Yeah, I parked against the wall and faced the wall. Put my head against the wall like on timeout. Really? Yeah, bro. I mean, you could still see all the sage and smoke coming out of my car. She's a graceful Indian woman. Indian meaning Hindu, or, from that, not native. Okay? You're also going to get Sandophone. Bow chicka wow wow. Who's Sandophone? He is the tallest angel, galactic. His twin brother is Metatron up there. We spoke about him. Sandophone and Metatron are the only ones that walk the earth. They were Elijah. He was the prophet Elijah. And Metatron was Enoch. Really? Yep. They walk the earth. And that's what it is. Divine beings took human form. You are divine. You're just in a human form. If you're not careful, you're going to be in a fucking fish or dog next time. You better be careful with your life. Anyways, he is in charge of looking after our planet and taking our prayers to God, weaving them into a crown of daisies, meaning your praises. They all kind of do that. They take your messages. Now, we get into the red ray. What is this? Your base chakra. It's at the base of your spine, your tailbone. It's about grounding, stability, physical strength, vitality, forgiveness, patience, emotional healing, tenacity, and success. Your root chakra, or your base, is what they'll call it, is your reality. It's your reality. Okay? So, in the card that you're looking at here, ground and center, foundations, grounding, basic needs, survival, physical identity, responsibility, the place where we build our lives, time, in nature. Gotta be grounded, gotta be rooted. And that's what it means, is you'll have to watch all my videos to know. All I need is to be outside. I need to be in the dirt. I was created with the dirt. I must be in the dirt to survive. It's completely unfair to take a fucking whale out and put it in a fishbowl, bro. That's not fair. It can live like that, but it's not going to thrive. And that's what happens to me. You can put me in your matrix world, your digital world, but I'm not going to survive there long. It will destroy me. I can bring light into it, but I have to get out of it to breathe. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. You can't put me in the rainforest either. I can't. It's hot. It's so sweaty. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Just kidding. I felt it. I really felt it. I felt the rainforest in that. I don't know. It was like sweaty. It felt like fucking humidity. Like what kind? The kind that never stops. Alright. Foundations. Grounding. Basic needs. Survival. Oh yeah. Physical identity, responsibilities. Yeah, we read all this. The image speaks of finding home within yourself, a sense of deep inner peace, and a strong sense of grounding and being centered. Here you can be released from the grips of survival in a place of thriving. There is trust, connection, and community. You can rely on others and joyfully understand your responsibility in turn. You are held and have a strong foundation for all aspects of life. With your guard down, you have the tools to ride the waves if you need. Everything is okay. All right, restore. Spend time in nature. Sit or stand barefoot in nature and feel your roots merging from the earth beneath you. Consider your founding beliefs. If they no longer serve you, it may be time to reconsider your priorities or foundations you live your life by. And that's where it is like, am I being a bitch? And that's where the whole High Priestess card came from. You're not being a bitch. They think you're being a bitch. You're coming off as a bitch. Don't be a bitch. And that's where it was. I understand I was coming off as a bitch. I can acknowledge that. But where I was coming, I didn't mean to be a bitch about it. I meant to be, do my job, not be a bitch about it. And that's what made me hard to work with. And I understand this. I know some stuff and I'm working on it. Let me see what else I can, be better at. And that's it. Reconsider your priorities or foundations you live by in life. Can I shift some of this? Can I work on some of this? Can some of this, is there room for compromise? It doesn't always have to be black and white. We can meet in the middle where I'm still in the light and you're still in the dark. And we're still, you know what I mean? And that's the polarity. You know what I mean? I'm, by nature dark. I understand. And that's what's so funny to me. These people and how they're breaking all the rules and all the crazy psychotic shit they're doing on our properties. I'm like, damn, bro, I would have never thought to do that's fucking ghetto fabulous, dude. I wish I would have had that idea when I was a criminal. You know what I mean? I heard Eminem. Criminal? Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would have been useful fucking information. I would have never been that smart, but no. Joe Bart is here. I'm going to pull out my little, my whistle. I'm going to blow the whistle on your head. And that's where it is. It's like, do you have to be so, hall monitor? That's what I'm looking at. You're kind of being a hall monitor. And that's it. It's the rigidity. Can I bend in, where can I bend? Where can I shift? I don't have to be so, and that's what I'm going back to that. Consider your founding beliefs. If they no longer serve you, it may be time to reconsider your priorities or foundations you live by. Be aware of any reoccurring patterns that may be holding you back. So, she might think this is how I operate, and this is obviously how I operate, but this is my first time seeing these patterns. And as I'm seeing them, I'm remembering how I operated at all of these other operations. Thanks, God, it's an open heart operation. Lovely. New levels, new devils. I mean, he's got to find ways to, this was all orchestrated. Lovely. Anyways, so that's what we talk about is your reality. And on a Friday or a Saturday, you should be breaking down your rigidity and, your belief systems and, reprogramming yourself. Repatterning of the mind is what the Palladian said. Okay? So, now when you're in this one, you're going to have the angels of the red flame. And those would be Uriel with salvation. That's the fire of God, the flame of God. Uriel is the keeper of the flame of divine love. He teaches us the path of salvation, helps purify our hearts and release lower energies such as guilt and anger, which cloud our judgment. We spoke about this yesterday. We were talking about anger and your temper and, retaliation. Uriel can help resolve arguments and bring forgiveness and healing into tense situations. Well, we needed him. It was tense and, that. He can help you with a fresh start and letting go of hurts and grudges. You need this in your reality. Also, you got Kamael. Kamael is justice. He's the one who sees God. This archangel is able to see through illusion